Today on Public Eye News, several grants for the state of Michigan have been approved, providing funding to outdoor projects in several counties, and later, former President Donald Trump's civil fraud case is set to resume.
Tycon Cox will have your sports update, and Austin Graham will have your weather forecast. I'm Kenzie Herod.
And I'm Marin Parks, and this is Public Eye News. In Wayne, Michigan, discussions concerning unionization plans for the 10 electric vehicle battery factories proposed by Detroit automakers General Motors, Ford, and Jeep maker Stellantis are underway as the United Auto Workers Union enters its fourth week on strike. With union negotiations still ongoing, the question of electric vehicles and their potential impact on job security within the automaking industry have become a key talking point, as union members and automakers alike look towards the future and consider the changes a world shifting towards electric vehicles will bring. The United Auto Workers Union's primary concern with the unionization of electric vehicle plants is ensuring the continuation of Union 1 benefits and pay as the industry adapts for the future. Thus far, only General Motors has agreed to go forward with the unionization plans. And here at home in Michigan, the Department of Natural Resources is administering their second round of Spark grants to 31 communities across the state, valued at nearly $22 million total, to help with the creation, restoration, and renovation of public recreation spaces and opportunities, such as over in Washtenaw County, $954,500 have been allocated for the revitalization of Wilson Park in Milan. $400,000 have been allocated to extend the paved portion of Betsy Valley Trail by an additional mile in Benzie County, and the improvement of the Monroe Loop Greenway Trail and fitness spaces in Monroe County have been allocated $900,000. And finally, in Houghton, $945,000 are going towards renovations for Chassell Centennial Park.
And former Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice David Prosser advises against impeaching liberal Justice Janet Protakowicz over a redirecting lawsuit. Some Republicans considered impeachment if she didn't rescue herself, but Prosser, one of the reviewing justices, says it should be for corrupt conduct or crimes. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos raised impeachment possibilities, claiming she prejudged the case. During her campaign, which Prosser disagrees with, Vos formed an impeachment review panel, but it faces a lawsuit for open meetings law violations. This adds complexity to the redistricting lawsuits and its impact on Justice Protakowicz. And a significant move, the Wisconsin Supreme Court voted 4-3 with liberals in favor and conservatives against to reduce the retention period of eviction records on the state court website from 20 years just to 2 years. Tenant rights advocates pushed for this change, arguing that the longer record keeping made it difficult for low-income individuals to find housing. The decision was met with opposition from landlord groups, including the Wisconsin Realtors Association, who feared it might lead to higher rental deposits. The court's liberal majority initiated this change in an open conference with the departure procedures closed in 2012 by conservative justices. This decision followed closely on the heels of the court's partisan vote to accept a case challenging Republican-drawn legislative maps and came amid controversy surrounding newly elected liberal justice Janet Protakowicz involvement in the case despite threats of impeachment from Republican lawmakers. And the war in Israel is having a profound effect on those thousands of miles away in the U.S. Those with family overseas are doing their best to keep contact. Esme Murphy has more.
For Jewish families and Palestinian Americans here in the Twin Cities, there is horror about what is happening right now in both Israel and Gaza. They are looking at social media and trying to understand what is happening to people they know and love.
The kind of brutality to civilians, taken captive, it's just really unbelievable.
Rabbi Marcia Zimmerman of Temple Israel says almost everyone who is Jewish in the Twin Cities has someone in Israel they know or are related to. That includes her and her husband, prominent state representative Frank Hornstein.
Everybody in our family are safe and have been moved out of their homes. So, and are with relatives.
The rabbi says Jews in the Twin Cities are frightened.
Let's just be honest about this, of fear of increased anti-Semitism at home, what this means for all of us in the Jewish community.
Steve Hunnigs, the executive director of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Minnesota and the Dakotas, has been lobbying all three congressional delegations.
And the most important thing we can do there is advocate for the continued strong, powerful relationship between the United States and Israel. It's going to be a long war. That's what everybody warns.
Palestinian Americans are fearful too.
It's a terrifying time.
Taher Herzala is a graduate student at the U of M and a field director for American Muslims for Palestine.
I have family in Gaza. They're under constant aerial bombardment. We've been trying to reach them over the past 48 hours with little success.
In Minneapolis, Esme Murphy, WCCO News.
And stay right here with us because after this break, we will be back with your weather and national news. Stay tuned.
Elon Musk has one rule: never be constrained by the rules.
He considers that internet world a battleground where anything is fair game.
I thought he'd be a good owner. I thought he could get stuff done.
Since Musk took over, what would you say your main findings have been?
Number one, I would say harassment has increased.
I really can't emphasize this enough. We must protect free speech.
Define free speech. Where are the limits? And what are the trade-offs?
Premieres Tuesday, October 10th, 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Austin Graham, here with your weather update. Looking outside at the Academic Mall, it's a kind of a gloomy day out on campus. Sun's starting to peek through a little bit, but for the most part, it is a pretty gloomy, rainy day here on campus. Now we're going to take a look around the UP at our current temperatures. Really cloudy all across the Upper Peninsula today. Starting up in Houghton, it's 46 degrees. Over in Ironwood, the coldest town in the UP today, 43 degrees. Down in Iron Mountain, 46. Escanaba and Menominee are both at 50. Over in the east by Sault Ste. Marie, it is 47 degrees. And over down by Manistee, it's 51 degrees. And back in our beloved home Marquette, it is 49 degrees. We're going to take a look at the closer conditions there. The winds are northwest, 14 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is 29.70 inches and rising. Looking at tonight, our low is going to be 44 degrees. The winds will be out at west-northwest, 11 miles an hour. Still going to be really rainy as well. The rain's going to continue tomorrow. The high will be 50 degrees. The low will be 44. Winds are going to be coming out of the north-northwest at 10 miles an hour. And looking ahead towards Thursday and your weekend, Thursday it's going to be 51. The low will be 44. It's going to be partly cloudy. Sun's going to poke out here and there. Showers are going to resume Friday. High will be 51, the low will be 47, and on Saturday, the showers are going to continue. High will be 50, low will be 46, and that's all I have for weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that weather update, Austin. It is definitely getting to be fall temperatures out there. And over in New York, new developments have arisen in the civil business fraud trial against former United States President Donald Trump. This new evidence comes in the form of an email attachment sent by Trump to his former chief financial officer, Allen Weisselberg, a document signed by Trump in 1994 that puts his Trump Tower triplex at 10,996 square feet, only about a third of the 30,000 square feet claimed by Trump on financial statements given to banks and insurers. This discrepancy in square footage of the triplex was first reported by Forbes magazine in 2016, and though the claim was refuted at the time and not picked up again, the matter was never fully investigated nor confirmed. However, Forbes doubled down on the question in 2017 through emails through which employees of the Trump company were allegedly told by Weisselberg not to engage. And over in Washington, D.C., a special counsel investigation of the improper retention of classified documents by sitting United States President Joe Biden from his time as both a senator and vice president to the Obama administration may be drawing to a close. A spokesperson for the White House counsel's office, Ian Sams, states that the president took part in a voluntary interview conducted in the White House both yesterday and earlier today, which some see as a sign that the investigation may be nearing its end. Additionally, Sams reiterated that both Biden and the White House have been cooperative with the investigation and emphasized the efforts of both the administration and the investigation team in keeping as much transparency with the public as possible and deferring any additional questions to the Justice Department of the United States. And now the importance of taking a break for yourself and your mental health. It's World Mental Health Day, and CBS News correspondent Ian Lee has more details.
Wrangling 2-year-old Cole takes all of Daryl Baker's attention. As you can imagine, finding time for herself is hard. Then Daryl took a moment. Laura Jorno-Leggett and Ray Burmiston created the campaign during the dark days of COVID. Encouraging people to stop, close their eyes for a little self-care. Dozens of celebrities have lent their famous faces to the cause, like actors Idris Elba and Brian Cox, and musicians Adam Lambert and Brian May from Queen. But it's not just the rich and famous peering down at London's National Portrait Gallery. Because no one is immune from mental health issues, everyone is encouraged to stop and take a moment. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And after this break, we'll be back with your sports update. Stay tuned.
Well, ain't there a skeleton in my closet, huh?
On Finding Your Roots, David Duchovny.
I have a sense of place that I didn't have before.
And Richard Kind.
All of this speaks to I did not get here alone.
A family's perilous journey.
I always just thought it was luck, you know.
And hard work ends in foul play.
He was murdered.
No talk of this in your family.
None.
Tonight at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Tyquan Cox, and this is Public Eye Sports. Taking a look at Saturday's matchups, Michigan Wolverines are off to an undefeated start in their football season, and things defensively and offensively are looking really good for them. At the halfway point of the season, they have only given up 4 touchdowns and 60 total points. They are currently the best in the FBS with just allowing 6.7 points per game. Their last matchup against Minnesota ended in a win for the Wolverines, with the final score being 52-10. This is the third time in program history in 9 years where they have given up the fewest points in the FBS. Good work, Michigan. And taking a look at some NFL news. And last night in the NFL, we saw the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers would lose this game 17-13. The Packers are struggling as a first-half team with only scoring 6 first-half points in the last 3 matchups. The Packers are now 2-3 this season without quarterback Aaron Rodgers under center. And quarterback Jordan Love finished the game 16 for 30, 182 yards and 3 interceptions. The Packers have dropped the last 2 games and is looking to bounce back week 6 and get back into the win column. In more NFL news, the Detroit Lions are off to a strong start in their NFL season after a weekend win against the Carolina Panthers. The Lions won the game 42-24, and they are now 4-1 on the young season. Head coach Dan Campbell of the Lions had a lot to say after winning their 4th game, stating, "We'll always be known as a tough physical team on offense, defense, and special teams, but if you are just tough and you are just physical, you have no creativity, you're not going to do anything with it." We have seen a lot of creativity from the Lions up to this point, including the flea flicker trick play that quarterback Jared Goff would throw to wide receiver Sam Laporta for a 31-yard touchdown. And that's it for sports. Back to you with more news.
All right, thank you so much for that sports update. How are you feeling about the NFL?
I know nothing about sports, so pretty good. What about you?
Well, being a Green Bay native, actually, that is all the time that we have today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Marin Parks.
I'm Kenzie Harrod, and this is Public Eye News. See you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for hanging out with us here at Public Eye News today. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube down below to never miss a story, and check us out on Instagram at NMU-Penn.